Hey everybody, welcome back to, don't know where I'm at. Shut up! Crows. Hey everybody, it's James. Welcome back to Rattlecan Guitar Restorations. We are in the garage today, but we're not going to cook, even though I am wearing the apron. I was with the Centerville Jazz Band last week at Grand Nationals for Bands of America, a big marching band competition, and we didn't make it to finals, but we are ranked 18th in the country out of the 100 bands that showed up, and #1 rank for the state of Ohio, and that's not bad. The good thing about it was for 4 days I didn't hear any of the shenanigans that was going on in the news. That was great. I also got to meet 2 people that weekend. One was a person whom I had helped with an adoption situation probably 18 years ago. And we have been internet friends ever since. And on Sunday was the first time I was able to actually meet her face to face, and got to meet the daughter. That was really, really cool. And Saturday, after we had done our semifinals performance, I walk out, we're getting ready to load everybody back up into the trucks, because you only got a certain amount of time to get all your crap out of the parking lot there at Lucas Oil Stadium. And I see a familiar face, and it is burritos. And it's Adam, the owner of the REGAL built 20th century guitar. And we had been talking about what we may or may not do. And one of the things that we had talked about with the color of the guitar is that it might be nice to find some like a walnut to actually put binding on it. It doesn't have binding on it right now, but when we put it back together, it might be time to put some binding on it. It's something that he has expressed an interest in, and you know, who am I to say no? So he shoots me a message and he says, "Hey, you're in Indy, I'm in Indy, I got a present for you." So he shows up with, well, I'll show you these one at a time. First of all, this is a nice big block of African ebony. Hey! Which might be kind of handy to make nuts with, because a lot of the old guitars that we get, the parlor guitars especially, they have wooden nuts, and a lot of times you got to make a new nut for it. Nuts cracked or split or any number of problems with it. So how many nut blanks do you think I could get out of that? That's a cool piece of wood. He also brought me a nice big piece of, he called it Madagascar rosewood. I've not heard of that. It doesn't mean anything, it just means I haven't heard of it. That might make a nice looking fingerboard for something. Nice piece of wood. I don't know what that is. Check this out. This is a nice big piece of burled maple. Isn't that something? You know what? Let's wet it down and see what it looks like. Oh, baby. Ain't that something? Oh, look at that. While we're here, isn't that something? Big, beautiful piece of burl maple. And so let's make a mess. One of his students, her dad, I think is what he said, her dad owns a lumber mill. And so I said, well, if you're gonna go there and you're gonna look for some binding, it needs to be, 32 or 33 inches long, something like that. And if you could get it a quarter wide and a quarter tall, or just give it to us in a bigger billet, if they don't want to cut it down. So into our possession comes this piece of walnut. Ain't that something? One and 7/8 inch thick. And man, so we may be able to get some binding out of this. I figure the binding for Adam's guitar will constitute at least 0.25% of this wood. What else can we do with it? I do have a big giant slab of cherry. And how cool would a 5 or a 7 piece laminated cherry and walnut guitar neck look? Yes, please. Might even be long enough for a through neck. A through neck bass. Ooh, 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 ooh. Now I'm just talking dirty. So anyways, that's what's going on. There's not much else going on because, well, a couple of things. Number one, the big truck is in the shop, transmission problems, and a big stinking hawk over there. Thank you. So, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Yeah, in fact, tomorrow might actually be a guitar day. I'll post this tonight. For the patrons, it'll pop first thing tomorrow morning. I think I scheduled them at 5 in the morning, and then tomorrow may just be a guitar day because the stuff that I need to do I can't really do in Mrs. Rattlecan's car. Ruby does not want to haul around a 40 space electrical panel, 1,000-foot roll of wire. She's not gonna take 1,000 feet of a 12-2 wire. Not happening. So yeah, maybe tomorrow will be a guitar day. So anyways, that's what's going on. If you're new, thanks for showing up. It actually does get better than this. At least nothing stinked. At least nothing smelled bad this time. If you saw the last episode, that was pretty gruesome. And if you're an old timer, thanks for coming back. I really, really appreciate it. So I think hopefully next time I may have a tool unboxing and a review. I've seen a portable or a little powered screwdriver that has got my interest up as far as winding and unwinding strings. More specifically, I'm going to try to may even just make a peg winder specifically for mandolins, because I'm having trouble with the mandolins, winding and unwinding, because with the nerve stuff going on there. So I think I'll do that. I got to buy a new saw blade for the bandsaw because I've got to rip off a 1/4 inch wide piece of that and then cut it into, well, more 1/4 inch wide pieces, so that we can then maybe get them on the bending form and start looking at that. Oh, we may have to make a new May have to make a new form. All kinds of stuff going on. Anyways, if you're not a patron, step over to the patron site and see if these endeavors are worth throwing down $1 a month or something, because all that stuff really helps with buying. I got a hard drive, that's another hard drive going on the fritz, and money that goes to spare parts and stuff like that. Well, it goes out of the guitar budget. And hey, I timed that just right, because here comes the daughters in their cars, and she's going to back up, and that might not go well for any of us. So if you see me next time, it means I survived. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers.
Hey, if you like this episode of Rattlecan Guitar Restorations, you might want to check this video out as well. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, and if you'd like to help the channel grow, consider stepping over to our Patreon page and giving that a look. Y'all have a good weekend. Cheers.